morning, people. It is Tuesday, and I have been gone for 2 weeks. So that means that I have more energy. My mouth and my yelling will be louder. But I am excited to be here. I'm so sorry that we have been MIA for the past 2 weeks. But people, life happens. So there has been a lot going on. There was a death, there was a lot of just craziness, and I was just unable to sign in. But we are here today. Super excited and happy to, as per always. Today is a show that I actually really enjoy doing. I love doing Express Yourself because when we do Express Yourself, we can talk about anything. Now, I'll say this, we had a lot of craziness today and her. So, myself and these three beautiful ladies that are going to join us today are going to talk about those things. But I'm hoping that they've thought about other on their mind, or maybe shows or just things that they've participated in that they want to talk about, because Express Yourself is the show where the audience has the opportunity to do just that, express themselves. So, as per always, before we get into that discussion, I want to remind folks why we were here, what our mission is about, and why we do what we do. As you see scrolling across the bottom of the screen is the number to the National Domestic Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You also see our website at loveshouldnothurt.com. If you are in immediate danger, make sure that you dial 911. But if you or someone you love, someone you know, even a friend or a foe, needs help and they're dealing with some form of domestic violence, make sure they reach out to that line and they them. If you are looking to hear from us and we have not received your inbox or responded to you within 24 hours, please call 911. Ask for a pizza. The people on the other end will know that it is important to help you and provide you with the services that you need. Tonight, folks, again, we are speaking about expressing yourself. And I got a lot to express tonight because today was quite the day. I wish I had men on the other screen, but because this happened so briefly throughout the day, I was unable to find a man. But we're going to find one to come back on here so you can see that I have fellas out there who got my back. So tonight, before we get into that, we're going to bring on three lovely ladies and they're going to talk to us about different things. So let me start with the Fierra Latina. That's what I call my girls. I never call them women or just girls. I always say that my women are Fierra Latinas because all of the women that I know are Fierras. I surround myself with good people, folks. So the first beautiful lady who's coming on es una doctora. She is amazing. She is a principal at a high school, and my girl is still at work. Talk about dedication. But she is here and she is supportive, and we are happy to have her. Let's bring on Doctora Sandra Gonzalez. Hi, love. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm
Thank you so
excited to
much for
have
having
you.
me. Yeah, thank you so much for having me tonight. Thank you. It's definitely unexpected, but I love things when they are like that, right? We don't plan them all the time. So I love it. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you for being here. I see people here. Thank you, Esther and Nancy and Lucy. Thanks for being here tonight. So, before we invite the other two ladies, you and I were having a brief conversation about a little bit of what happened today. And I want to
Mhm.
get a brief little opinion from you of it.
Mhm.
Let's give them a synopsis. So, folks,
Go for it.
I'm going to give you a small synopsis of what my day looked like today. So, it started yesterday. Every time I am going to have a show, I post flyers, right? So if you're on my page, you know I post the flyer, I tag folks, I let them know. I won't get into the language or the verbiage or anything that was said to me, but unfortunately, I tagged someone unbeknownst to me who was not aligned with my mission. He was a male, and he was very unappreciative that he was tagged in my post and went on to belittle me under the post. I decided to delete the comment and just write to the young man and just let him know that it's okay if you're not okay with what I do, but you absolutely are being blocked and you can no longer communicate with me. And the person went on to make threats to my life and to say that I'm bitter and that our mission is just negative. And since today is Express Yourself, I think it's the best time to talk about these things because, I have so much support, but people do not realize the backlash that's received in the background. So it's not always roses, folks. It's not always roses. I have a lot of people who do not align with what it is that I am speaking about on a weekly basis. So, Sandra, when you saw what I said, you were a little annoyed.
I was like, wow, they have some balls. Oh man, can I say that on here?
You can, you
Sí,
can.
mira,
Say whatever you want
that's I'm so sorry. It's not okay. I do understand that your mission, love shouldn't hurt, is not for everyone, right? It's not going to make everyone happy, and we all have different lifestyles, and we all have life experiences that are totally different, and some are similar. When I think about this show, I think about educating others. You're educating women and men, and young and old, about what it is to hurt others, and to avoid or try to find a way to save yourself.
Mhm.
Through this show, I'm sure many people, and many women and men and auntie, abuelitas, y mamá, y lo que sea, they have been able to
Mhm.
learn and found a way to get some help, some support. You probably have empowered them to go and support a friend or a family member that wasn't doing well, that was experiencing some of these things that your mission talks about. So it's unfortunate for me. I was like, wow, qué rabia me dio tan rapidito. You have some guts to say that. If you don't want to be tagged, then don't get tagged. Block someone if you don't like what they're talking about, what they're about. Why don't you just stop following and move on with your life? That's what it should be. Why should your life te apesta la vida, like my mom used to say? Move on with your life and keep on moving. There is no reason why we should be violent. There is no reason why anyone should be harassing anyone or threatening because you're trying to educate others. And that's really what this show is about. It's about educating and possibly saving someone from harm one day. And it's sad, and it's unfortunate that those individuals thought that it was acceptable, and hopefully you have blocked them, because you don't have to follow those negative vibes also. But it's unfortunate that they felt like that. And I will pray for them and pray for their heart, because definitely there's some hurt in their heart. Unfortunately, maybe they have envisioned, or maybe they have gone through some hurt where they still haven't gotten the assistance that they needed and haven't been able to let it go. So it's saddened me to hear that someone was so negative when it comes to
Yeah.
to this topic.
Absolutely. I
Mhm.
want to say this because a lot of people that I spoke to today, when they realized, I was going to do the show and then this happened, and I was like, you know what? Let's talk about that. Let's bring it
Mhm.
up today on the show. They were like, you're crazy. Why are you going to talk about it? You're going to throw fuel to the fire.
Mhm.
I realize people's concern, and I want everybody to know that. But I
Mhm.
also want people to know that when I come up here, I constantly say I'm transparent. I constantly say that I speak my truth, and I always talk about present day things that are happening. And I'm purposely doing this because I think that my platform is so expressive and so open, and we talk about so much. I want people to know who are following. You don't have to follow if you don't want to.
Right.
That's okay.
Mhm.
What our mission is aligned with is helping survivors, is helping victims through what they're dealing with and what they're tolerating. And we have become a support system, even just through this show, not only through our intake process, but even with their show. I mean, with this show, we've been able to kind of support people quietly, people who don't even tell me that we're helping them through this. So, yes, I am on a public platform
Mhm.
speaking about what happened to me today because I want people to know that if you were trying to scare me, boo boo, you didn't. I'm not going to stop doing what I do because this is what I do. And I want other people to come on and we talk about it. And this won't be the whole show, folks. We'll talk about other things. But I want people to publicly know that what we do is a mission that we continue to do. And we align with a lot of people in the community. And if it isn't something that you're aligned with, that is absolutely okay. I want you to take your finger and like hit that unfriend button, and then you don't got to talk to us no more. So
Mhm.
I'm going to send Sandra to the back, and I'm going to bring another pretty lady on the screen. They're all cute, y'all. They're all cute. So we're going to bring another pretty lady on the screen because, listen, I love intermingling with people and talking, and I love these ladies. They always got support. This is what I love about this show. I have the most supportive mujeres who come on here, and it fuels me. Look at that. You see that comment down there? Ramon Ortiz, a male, reminding us that he loves our platform. I say that to say that it is not just about women, it is about women and men. And honestly, at the forefront of all of this, what we are doing is asking for respect. We're asking for people to treat us with worth. And the fact that someone had the audacity to come after me and say that they were going to take my life because of what I do only fuels me more and harder for what it is that I do. Let's bring on Daisy Pietri because she's another pretty lady that I love to share the screen with. Hello, belleza.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me. It was
You are
like
welcome.
Dr. Garcia mentioned, very last minute, but those are the best times. I did not get to see the comment, thank goodness. But just from what you're sharing, um, I feel like in anything that we do, right? Especially social media, there's going to be haters. There's going to be because haters for me, I feel like just give us like more fuel in what we do, right? It's like
Mhm.
we need to be putting it out there more so for people like that. So and going back to piggyback to what she was stating that obviously there's some trauma there that has not been healed, right? And so now he's lashing it out on someone as yourself whose purpose is to bring value and help those in need. So it makes me sad that
Mhm.
we're living in such a world that we have to express ourselves like that, especially through social media. Maybe that could have been like a private message type thing and a nice,
Mhm.
professional matter. But yeah, to go back to what you were saying, like what you're doing, not many people can handle, right? And not many people can wake up every day and do what you do. And I have to really give you kudos for that because I mean you've inspired me seeing your posts, sharing, what you share. Like you're a voice for those women out there that have not gotten to that level of healing yet. So I want to just continue what you're doing because you're doing a beautiful thing if you have haters like that.
It was definitely something that surprised the hell
I'm
out of me.
sure.
I will say
I'm
that.
sure. I'm
I
sure.
think that people don't realize, you know, what I was saying to Sandra before all of you came on is that people constantly see me out and about, right? And with this show and with my organization, I have become a public figure, which is okay. It's not something that I even imagined would happen. It was a documentary and it was to shed light on domestic violence and it was to commemorate a friend who was lost, but it's become what it's become, which is fine because for me, that small token, Christina has an amazing village behind her, and the organization will always support her. Thank you, Ray. Um, it's. I didn't think that it would get to this level, and sometimes it's a burden that takes a toll on me. It really does. I've been off for 2 weeks, not on this show, and that is because sometimes it becomes very heavy. People constantly see a smile on my face, and I'm always on here, and I'm hyper, and I'm happy, but they have no idea the backlash that I get. This is not the first time that I've received backlash from people. I have had family members tell me straight up that they think I'm nuts. Like I have had friends tell me that, I'm an idiot for doing what I do. But, again, in my mind, I say I cannot be angry with that because unless you have lived through what I've lived through, unless you have experienced what I've experienced, you cannot understand the depth nor the importance that this organization is to me. And no one can force that upon anyone. I can't make you see my vision. I can't make you understand why I do what I do. But we come here weekly. We speak to women like you. You came on the show when we were speaking about phenomenal women. Sandra's been on the show before. Christina's going to come up. She's been on the show before. We have an abundance of people who are here on a weekly basis and watch us, and they support us, and they provide, whatever knowledge they have of any of the topics that we share. And, as sad as today was and how taken back I was with the threats and the comments, I also sat back in my car for an hour because I had to wait for my daughter. And I thought about it and I kept replaying it. And I was like, you know what? We're doing something right. We're doing
Mm.
something absolutely right if someone is that upset about what it is that we're doing. And again, I don't want people to think, oh my God, this is all because she wants to put it out there. I want it to be publicly known and I want us to have conversations about it because the reason why many women hide their abuse and they don't talk about it and they don't go out there are because of people like that. Because bullies like that have continued to bully them and make them feel like they're not important, their stories are not important. And I want to do it publicly because I want that person, even though they're not blocked, maybe someone else is watching for them, to know that your bullying is not going to change my mission. I'm going to keep doing what I do, and I'm going to do it stronger so that
Mhm.
people know that what we do is important. I'm going to send you to the back, and we're going to bring Chrissy up, and we'll all be back together. So oh, hey, she was up there fast. He didn't let me give you an intro.
Hey, mama.
Hi, Chris. How are
Hi,
you, babe?
I'm good. How you doing?
Crazy day, but I'm doing fine.
You're gonna be fine. You got a big support system behind you. You're gonna be fine.
So you were another one who saw my message and was like, "What?"
I'm kind of glad I didn't see the comment because sometimes my fingers tend to go a little too happy and I might say something. So I'm kind of glad I didn't see it. But when I saw the post that you put up, and I'm like, you know, you're gonna have people out there that are not gonna agree, that are gonna be against it. And like Daisy said, if you don't have anything good to say about it, maybe you should just not say anything at all. But this person felt the need that they had to say it because they didn't like it. So it triggered him. But if anything, I think let this be your even more momentum to keep pushing. Keep pushing because you are changing so many lives. In the short time that you've been doing this, you've affected a lot of people, even myself. When I heard you were doing it, I was like, this is awesome because I know myself, I've been a victim. I wouldn't be able to do something like this out of just you know, deciding I want to do this. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to voice. You were a victim. You were sexually, physically, whatever. It's not an easy thing. It takes a bold, strong person and a support system that backs you up to be able to continue to do it. And you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people that are not gonna like it. And that's okay. That is totally okay. Just keep pushing.
There's Kermit. Kermit's in the convo. Oh, well, you know what? It's people like yourself, and as I'm watching the chat seriously just fill up there, people like yourself and everybody who's writing are people that fill me. They're the reason why we do what we do.
Hmm.
And Express Yourself, I believe, was the best show to talk about it. So even though I wasn't happy that it happened, I'm happy to know that tonight is when it happened, because
Yeah.
this is what we're talking about tonight. We're expressing ourselves and what it is that we feel, and that's what the Express Yourself show is. We don't have a set topic. We just talk about things to come to mind, and it gives us the opportunity to just talk
It's that
about
one
anything.
hour. It's that 1 hour. It's an outlet for any woman or man out there that needs to come to a place like this on a Tuesday night and say, I need to hear. Maybe somebody can shed a light on what they're going through that can help me. It's as simple as that. It's that 1 hour that just makes somebody feel like they're not alone.
Mhm.
And with something so good like this, you're always gonna have the negative. That's that devil coming in trying to pull you in. And it came
Yeah,
on a day like today
yeah.
when the show is coming on. So it's like, guess what? You didn't scare her. If anything, you just fueled her even more and the people that back her up. That's it. Keep
You
doing it.
you made my fire stronger.
That's right, man. That's right.
I am going to bring the other ladies on, and we're going to have a conversation just about not just this, but just in general about kind of like the walls that we constantly hit. I think that that's something that's a good topic for us to get into
Yeah.
tonight, because not just with this, I think that, listen, Sandra's a principal, Daisy's a real estate agent. I'm sure that on your daily lives, you work at a hospital, all of you have walls that you hit on a daily basis when you're
Oh
trying
yeah.
to do your best. So let's bring these other two fierras back on. Woo! We're doing it at the same time. Ray's gonna kill me. Ladies, meet each other. This is
Hi.
Chrissy.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Daisy. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
So, besides all the craziness of today, um, I want to say thank you, right, to everybody who's watching, because I see all the comments and I appreciate all of you. But I appreciate you three ladies for coming here, being a part of tonight, and just sharing in this moment. But there's a lot of different things that we talk about, right? We talk about domestic violence every week. Obviously, that's what the platform is about. But
Mhm.
we talk about just different things and trials. And I think today was a true testament of that. It was a testament of my faith, one, because originally, and I will be as honest as I can be, originally I was terrified. I'll say that. Um, with what it is that I do on a daily basis, I constantly have my friends who are police officers always telling me, Christina, you need to protect yourself. What you do doesn't make every man happy. You're having these women stand up for themselves, you need to be careful. So the fact that someone could actually threaten my life and tell me that, you know, they know where I live, and you know they'll come after me and they'll forever shut me up. I will not lie, it was kind of scary for me this morning. You know, all that was running through my mind is I have a daughter at home, you know, does this person know where I live, type of thing. um I realize now people are just bullies. People are going to try and try and try to knock me down. And this isn't the first time. So I'm just going to keep pushing. But you ladies, I'm sure, because I don't want to focus the show on just me, but I'm sure that all of us have faced adversity at some point, and you know, have tried to overcome. So, you know, there's different things about my show that have attracted you. And I think that because it's this type of show, I want you guys to tell me, like, what are different things that you have gotten? And I think that's what I want to get from today's show, because people don't realize what happens after these shows and what we do. I want each of you to think of something that you have gotten from this show, not about me, because it's not about Christina, but what is there something either about my organization, what, because it's not just me, my girls, everybody, the show. What is one thing that you have taken away from this organization? Because what I want to do is put out positivity today, because that adversity that hit me today is not going to knock me. So let's talk about the positivity. We're done with the negativity. Let's talk about the positivity. What are some things that each of you have gotten? Let's start with Sandra. She's like she
Yeah.
thinks.
Yeah, I actually have a bunch of things. The last time that I was on here it made me realize that I haven't had this conversation with my staff. I haven't provided them the resources needed in case, they are confronted with something similar. And so I contacted HR and I was like, hey, what do we have in place? What can we offer our staff? And I created a flyer. And as simple as that was, I put the flyer in the bathroom, male and female. We also had a girl retreat with the middle school girls. And I remember, Christina, you came over and you spoke to a couple of young ladies about, and you downscaled it, but you definitely, it was a nice way of introducing, to the young ladies, self-awareness, self-love, self-care. And I enjoyed that. And it was a baby steps because, again, we might not have these conversations, as we mentioned in the last show that I was in. These are conversations that we might not have in family, with our family members, with our parents, esto se queda calladito. But, I felt good that as a school, we were able to have this girls retreat. You then joined us and had a conversation with a few sixth grade girls. That made my day. And again, just informing, staff, if you are going through something, here goes some resources. This is who you can contact, along with HR that can provide you some more support. So I've never done that. So for me, I was like, yo tengo que hacer algo. I have to educate others también. So I was very excited about that. And I left the show creating flyers rapidito, and it just made me move and think about other things that I really, besides education and what we're here for in the school, I didn't think about that. And that is education as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Daisy, what about you? You're a new follower to this organization.
Yeah, I've absorbed so much. I hope that the connection is a little bit better than what
It's a little bit better, yeah.
I'm using my phone, so
No, that's okay.
Just the little bit that I've gotten from you is like a lot, right? So like for me is allowing, your voice to be heard, right? And really speaking your truth. And that takes a lot of work. And for, those that are battling, I have a history. I was a teen mom. So like I have my daughter's going to be 25 years old next month. And so I have a lot of things that I've worked on throughout the years that I never really spoke about because I was, it was almost like I didn't have that voice, just like didn't like mature enough, I feel like, right? To be able to, I still felt shame, right, for things that happened to me, because I wasn't ready to speak about it. And so being very just authentic with yourself, and allowing others to share their experience, right? Because anyone that's on this show right now, whether you've been in it, are in it, or have known someone in it, it's just allow others to treat you the way ultimately, you're allowing those to treat you whichever way, right? So I have an 8, my daughter just turned 9. And so she sees how others are, you know, allowed to treat me, right? Whether, you know, it's my husband, my son, any. So I'm that role model for her. So if I'm gonna allow, and that's how I was thinking when you had asked me the other call, I'm like, what are we gonna talk about, right? And I was just like, you know what, having an 8-year-old daughter and then having a 25-year-old daughter, to me is like, I want them to be treated like a queen. I want them to be valued. I want them to be respected. And it starts with me, right? How do I allow others to treat me? And so, you know, being a teen mom, like I had a lot of growing up to do because I was 15 years old, you know? So like I didn't know what really, you know, how I allowed others to treat me, you know. But going back to what you were talking about, the being challenged, right, allows you to grow. So I just felt that every aspect in my life that I was being challenged, whatever the situation was, it allowed me to grow to be the person that I am today. So yeah.
She's like, wait, what?
I feel like I can keep on talking forever, but
no, that's okay. See, this is the thing, and since you're a new follower, you probably have never seen this show. So express yourself is just that. We don't have a set topic. We don't have anything that we're like, this is what we're talking about. We get on here and we just express ourselves in a different way. And we started doing this back last year. It was Ray's idea, because we wanted people to be able to have the opportunity to just express themselves on any different, you know, topic they want to talk about. Some folks have come on and talked about what they've been through themselves with domestic violence, or what they've been through with their partners or their kids. And it's been really, really difficult for people to just always constantly see the same thing. And we try to spice it up and do it differently. And I thought today would be the perfect time for us to be able to talk about not only the backlashes that we have, right? Because we face them constantly. People don't realize it. They think that everything is just kosher and that we go through this. And, you know, it's not, it's just perfect. And it's not. And I want people to know that this is real, this is realistic, and that even though we come up here and I smile every week and I make you laugh and I'm hyper, there are a lot of negativity and adversity that are pushed against us. So we're going to come back because we're going to give Chrissy the opportunity to answer that question. Before we do that, though, we are going to do as we do at this point. We're going to remind folks why we are here. If you or anyone that you are dealing with or is surrounded around you, friend or foe, is dealing with domestic violence, have them reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233, or at our social media platforms, as well as our website at loveshouldnothurt.com. I see all of the comments. I see everything, and we are going to get to you because that is what tonight is about, expressing yourselves. Chrissy, we're going to get back to you, but we have a video for you guys. We'll be back. Let's show this video.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
I think they said that better than I could. Denzel, you can speak, brother. That's what I always hear from people, that when negativity is thrown at you, that means that's when you're doing right. So I think that was a testament of that today. Chrissy, what's one thing you got from our situation here, our little organization that's constantly on here that flaps up every Tuesday on your phone?
More than one thing, but I can say that as a survivor myself, being able to speak on it, being able to say I am a survivor, and finally be able to be comfortable talking about it. Because before it was just, it happened and I just kind of put it in the back of my mind as much as I could and just focused on, okay, let me get through this day, let me get through the next day, get, work, do what I got to do. And I just kept it back there. And you can try and go to other resources and, and talk to somebody, but it's not the same when you have a a group, especially a bunch of, Latina women, all different. But it's when you have a group like this that it's just, people. There's a comfortness. There's just it's an ease to be able to just step into the chat and just talk. So for me, that was a really big thing because I just felt like I grew up in a household where we helped with the youth and we did so much, and so it was like there was really never no privacy. But it was like now I have my own personal dilemmas and my own issues, and I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where to vent to. I don't know what my resources are if I want to go talk to somebody.
Mhm.
So you doing this, it was like I sat back for a little bit and I watched and I listened and I'm just like, wow, this is pretty cool. So that was my main thing. For me, it was the hardest thing to talk about it without getting emotional, without getting angry, without feeling, all kinds of rage because I didn't let it out. I didn't have an outlet to take it to. I just would go to the gym and just try and burn off as much as I could, but it wasn't the same as being able to talk amongst my own peers,
Right.
So,
Absolutely. I see there's a question in the chat for Dr. Gonzalez.
Mhm.
Dr. Gonzalez, have you experienced DV live with your staff or parents?
Oh, wow. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Yeah, at work, definitely. I remember one case in particular. Um, wow, this was tough. One staff member in particular, she was having some issues at home, and she home work was her safe haven, and we shared with human resources, the struggles that she was going through with security. We had a picture of the person, wasn't allowed in our facility. We made sure that she had a parking spot. Someone walked her to her car all the time. Person was not allowed inside the building at all. And this not only was this staff member, but also a couple students had, their parents have experienced this as well. And we've had court orders, and we just have to follow all of those things, and and provide counseling to our students. And our school psychologist has been graceful enough to talk to staff members and provided them with the resources that they can then go out and seek out some support as well. But here I become mother hen. Oh no, pero hasta aquí no entran. But it's super sad. It's super sad to see staff members going through that, and we've had a few, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's absolutely a scary thing, and I think that if people haven't seen that episode, I need you guys to go to our YouTube and check that out, because I think that was a really phenomenal episode when we spoke about domestic violence in the workplace. Going through my situation when I was dealing with my abuse, I worked as a school social worker. I've been an educator for 22 years, and I've played many different roles in the schools. And during that time, I was in a very sensitive situation because I was the one who was supposed to provide that support. I was the one who was supposed to speak mental health to them and, deal with the psychologist who was my boss. And we would tag team with helping these kids. But at the same time, I was going home and I was getting beat up every day. So it was difficult to go through life at that time. And I was super young. This was like my second job out of college. And, I was going into this field and I was daily telling these kids self-worth, self-respect, make sure that, you're getting respected by your friends and your family members. And then I was walking down the steps, getting in my car, going home, and I was getting thrown into a wall and just beat up. So it's difficult, but I think it's super important that people know and also provide outlets for your employees. And I think it's important when I have folks like Sandra who play roles that are important within not only just educational fields, but just in any sort of management role, that there are supports in place for employees, because sometimes, as you stated, work is our safe haven. When I am down or I am upset, I love going to work. People think I'm crazy, but I love going to work because I know that my boss is supportive. I know that my coworkers are supportive. And when they see something wrong, they're always like, "What's wrong? You good? Vega, you fine?" And we do that with each other. So I think that it's super important for managerial positions and people to have not only training, but to provide some empathy and some sympathy for your employees, because sometimes when they come in and they have an attitude, it's not because they don't want to be there. There are other things that are going on. So it's important to be very vigilant about the changes in the behavior of staff, especially. There's a question in there for Christine now. So let's talk to Christine. Christine, have you experienced domestic violence situations in the medical field and bring you flashbacks to help that person?
Yeah, numerous times. And sometimes when you work in the medical field, you got to be careful what you say and
Mhm.
what you do, because they just want you to do your job, and that's pretty much it. And where
Mhm.
I'm at, it's just, in and out real quick. But I have had a couple where, you know, the girl, she's by herself and she just was petrified. She did not want to go home. I sat and I spoke with her, try to do as much as resources. At that time, I don't think you were up. You had your show, and I didn't know who to reach out to, but
Mhm.
I was able to help her through another coworker at the job. And I pay attention to it a lot more where I'm at, because it seems to happen a lot.
Mhm.
When you are a victim of it, you see certain things that they don't think you're noticing.
Mhm.
So I tread lightly with it, but at the same time, if I'm able to talk to them and just kind of make certain type of conversation, certain wording, I know what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, I will try my best without trying to cause any uproar, especially when the other individual's there.
Right.
Um, but I have, and it's been kind of nerve wracking and upsetting, because you just don't know what to do. You can only do but so much
Mhm.
on your end, and when you see them walking out the door, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I put my knowledge to use as much as I can, and I will go above and beyond and help anybody that needs it when they come into the hospital.
Awesome. I think that's the biggest thing, though. It's difficult being a survivor or even someone who's been
Mhm.
in this situation and thinking to yourself, "Oh my goodness, what do I do? What do I say? Um, how do I help them through this without one scaring them
Yeah.
or offending them?" And in the workplace it's so difficult because you have to tread lightly.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
lot of things that are in that HR handbook, and you want to make sure you don't
Mhm.
say the wrong thing. You
Yeah.
don't want FERPA or HIPAA or any of those things, but you want people to be supported. You want them to feel like this is a safe place for them, but it's difficult, and I think that it's something that we all have to acknowledge. I see a question there for Daisy. You're up, girlfriend. Daisy, have you chatted with your children or child regarding your past situation?
Uh, um, so with my 9-year-old, her and I teach her a lot of like affirmations, a lot of
Mhm.
like self love, self care, journaling. Um, because obviously she's 9 and I can't discuss with her what I went through in life, right?
Mhm.
She's not ready for it. Now with my 24-year-old, I to be honest with you, I haven't gotten like really deep, because it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts to get really deep with my life experience with her, like to share that with her. But I'm glad that you brought it up, because I will have that conversation with her. I mean, we've talked a little bit about it before, but nothing never really like deep, because it hurts. Like when I talk about it, it like really hurts that I allowed myself, to be treated like that. And, I just always emphasize to her, like, you know, the best that I can, and let and allowing others to really respect her. Like I said, respect her, and value her and her self-worth and all of that. Like I really put that out there to her. So yeah, so to answer your question, we've never really sat down. It's not a conversation where you're like, oh, by the way, what are you doing tomorrow at
Yeah.
1 p.m., because I want to tell you my life story.
Yeah.
I mean, things will come up once in a while, and we'll kind of like chat about it. But yeah, it's a tough one. That's a
It
tough
is.
one. Yeah,
It
that's a
is.
good question, actually.
Well, I don't think people realize how hard it is.
Hmm.
Seriously. When I was doing my documentary, I had to decide whether or not I wanted my daughter to be in the room and listen,
Yeah.
and whether or not she was going to be able to handle that and deal with it. At the end of the day, she ended up being a part of the documentary, and it wasn't easy. She heard everything, and when I say everything, she heard from start to finish, and that was a hard decision for me because this is her father. She loves him. I'm her mother. She loves me. And it's like, I don't want her to feel like I was having her try to choose sides, but I also wanted her to know what I went through and how I overcame it. Because I'm a single mom. I want her to know the strength that she can have. I also want her to see other role models of people who have, yes, gone through something, but look how great they're doing and how amazing they're doing. It's not an easy conversation, and I can understand why you haven't had that conversation, because it's not difficult to break those types of conversations to your kids, because we only want them to see positive. We don't want them to see negative. I chose to tell her because I knew that, one, this was not something I was just stopping at. I knew that documentary wouldn't be it. So I wanted to make sure that she knew that there was a purpose behind what it is that I was doing, so she can know that as mommy continues on, this is why I'm doing it. And I wanted her to see that with her own eyes. There's a bunch of different comments in here, and I want to get to all of them. There's a question that was asked of us by Rose Pachardo. Let's go there. Ross Pachardo. It says, every single one of us, we listen to so much trauma from others. What do you do for self-care? What does each of you do for self-care? I have people muted, so let me try to unmute here. Sandra, what do you do for self-care? You're a principal. You go through crazy stuff.
What do I do for self-care? Whoa, what do I not do? I actually, self-care to me is super important, because if not, stress will definitely take over. I will be moody. I will be cranky. I will be upset. I won't be able to function correctly as a mom, as a principal, as a human being. And I know this about myself. So I go to the gym. Wednesdays and Sundays, I'm in the gym early on Sundays, late on Wednesdays. On Saturdays, I go to area yoga classes. I go salsa dancing when I can, here and there. If my schedule allows it, I go dancing. Pole dancing is something that I love doing. I've done that too. Don't judge me. It's great stress
Hey.
Over.
but I have to do something. And then when I can, I travel. I love to travel. I like to be in the sun and the beach. But for everyday type of things, I work out. I have to. If not, I'm just going to be too overwhelmed, too much on my shoulders, that I'm going to start exhibiting, negativity, and I don't want that. So, and it's not good for my health either.
Absolutely. Chrissy, what do you do for self-care, babe?
Starts right off in the morning. I'll put some music on. We read some affirmations that I always write to myself. And when I'm working from home and I'm able to have the time, I go to the gym early in the morning, give myself an hour and a half, zone it out. Read positive books, things that have, some meaning to it. Surround myself with a good circle of friends. But first and foremost, always is I wake up in the morning, I'm grateful, say my prayer, because I wouldn't be here if I didn't change my mind at that time. I wouldn't be here. So every morning it's a prayer in the morning, and at the gym. That's what I need. And yeah, beach, all those things. If I can get away, I get away. But I've learned to focus on myself and just give myself at least an hour every day, whether it be the morning, afternoon, night. That's my time. Do whatever I want to do. Take myself to get my nails done, my hair done. All that's great, but my spirituality, my faith, that's what I work on, because that's what's made me stronger to continue pushing through. So that's, for me, is first and foremost.
Awesome. Good stuff. Daisy. Yes. What do you do for self-care, beautiful lady?
Pretty much what these beautiful ladies have explained. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I have like an hour to myself. So I meditate, I do devotional reading, I journal, and then I work out. Like that's in that order. After that, the world can do what they want to do, because I already have taken care of my spirituality and also my mentality. So like that to me is, I put like a shield. That's my shield. And I know what life can happen, because I know that I can turn to, back to prayer, and it just, my faith. So those are the things that kind of like, life doesn't happen. It's like you don't drink the coffee. I mean, you drink the coffee and then, and then life. Well, those are the things that happen for me in the morning. And then I like to I have scheduled days where evenings where I like to have a glass of wine and a bubble bath. If I sometimes put it in my calendar. I'll say
Yeah.
Thursday night, Thursday evening, I'm gonna, have a bubble bath, just read a book and have a glass of wine. Because if we don't make time for it, life happens. I mean, I have
Yeah.
3 kids, I have a husband, my career, it's craziness. So I love taking care of myself first, because what the saying says, when you're in a plane, put your oxygen mask on first, right, to be able to
Yes.
help the others. So that's how and so I do this because this is what I want to show my kids to start, to do. So if they can see, well, mom, does this, you
Yeah.
know, it's just showing my kids, definitely taking care of your mind, spirit, for sure.
Mind, body, and soul. My self care. Listen, something that a lot of people do not know. When I am stressed, don't laugh at me, people. When I am stressed and I'm like super stressed, I will go into my shower and I will spend an hour in the shower. Oh God, and I pay the water. I would go into the shower and I sing. I have been singing since I was a little girl. I mean, like, that is my stress reliever. My daughter says I missed my calling, but it's okay. I work in education. I don't need to sing. But I sing, and a lot of people don't know that. And I will sing depending upon my mood. It depends on what I'll sing. But what I feel the best at and what I feel the most like just filled are gospel songs, praise and worship songs. And I will sit in the shower. My daughter records me. She stands outside of the bathroom and she be recording me under the door. But I sing praise and worship when I'm in there. If I'm in, another type of mood, I sing salsa. It depends on what it is. I sing R&B, whatever it is. But when I sing, I feel like I'm my freest because I'm kind of like, yelling and just letting it all out and kind of just releasing whatever I feel at that time. So it's always different because listen, I have some days I'm singing Little Kim, okay? So it depends on how I feel that day, what I'm singing. But that is a part of my self care. Another part of my self care is one of Sandra's. I love to dance. And sometimes when I've had the worst stressful week, I will call my girls and be like, we need to dance. I need to be on a dance floor. I need to get out there and I need to just dance because if I don't dance, I'm going to go crazy. And people are like, oh, it's just dancing. It's not. When you feel so stressed, relieving yourself on that dance floor and just like, oh, you're like relajando. What? Why did I ruin that? I know Spanish people. I swear to God. I'm a little messed up. Me relajo. And I get out there and I dance and I just feel good. So my self care may be different from everyone else's, but I dance and I sing. And it sounds crazy, but those are ways to just release all the energy that I have built up, whether it's anger, whether it's craziness. I get out there and I dance. There is another question in there for all of us. There's so many comments, and Jennifer Gomez Hardy said I could sing. She heard me sing at karaoke. There's another question in there for us, and I'll make that our last question. Then we're going to go through some comments and we will have our final thought because, ladies, as quick as it seems, we have already at the 50 mark. So, the last question for all of us was, ladies, what's one situation you have experienced and have overcome? Sandra, I'll start with you.
Wow. What one experience. Okay. I haven't shared this experience, but I'll share it. That I've overcome, and actually, it took me a long time to overcome it. I was married. I had the most beautiful wedding ever, the most beautiful wedding, and it lasted less than a year. And the reason for that is because I got punched in the face. And it kind of took me back because when I got married, I had non-negotiables. My first one was finances have to be right, and the second one was you can't put your hands on me. I grew up in a household with lots of abuse, and we saw lots of things that we shouldn't have seen as children. And I was like, I am no one's punching bag. So I was an admin already. Big black eye, I swelled up. So bien blanquita y flaquita. So, it was bad. I was out of work for over a week. But I immediately, put in for divorce. And I had a lot of hate in my heart, a lot of hate in my heart. And I went to counseling and I went to therapy and I saw lots of people and went through lots of sessions. And I had a hard time, building relationships with men and trusting people. And And I'm very defensive today, even till today. I'm very defensive because of it, but I am overcoming that. So have I overcome it 100%? I have not. Am I perfect? No. Jesus, God is not done with me yet. But I knew that I did not deserve that, no matter what the situation was. And I quickly got out of it. And I was, it was hard for me, one, because it happened, but two, I didn't want to get married ever. I thought I was never going to get married. So I'm like, yes, I'm going to get married. I'm going to have a family. And era rapidito. It was, the planning of the wedding was longer than the actual marriage. So that, was hard for me to deal with. But and I learned, I lived, I learned, and I'm here.
You were loved. Well, kudos to you. That's new information for me, but I want to say thank you for that, because your transparency. I love when people are transparent, because it's great. But kudos to you for being that warrior. And yes, as Teresa said, ownership over it, because you know what? No one in their life decides, let's be abused today. Let somebody smack me. It's not something you plan for. You go into marriages or situations, and your idea of it is, I love it, and it's butterflies and it's roses, and one day to the next, you have a black eye, or you're hit, or everything changes, and that happens. But the fact that you're strong enough to say, I'm done, and you were over after that first time, I truly, truly, truly commend you for that. I give you all the flowers you deserve, because it took me 6 years. 6 years to be able to gain the strength to say, I'm done, basta ya. So when I just learned something from a great friend. Yes, I just cried. I'm sorry you went through that. Oh, see that? He gonna make me cry. It's not something that, that anyone aspires to be. You don't aspire to be a wife and to be hit or abused. And I know that Chrissy can attest to that. These are not situations that we aspired to go through. But the fact that you are who you are was your freaking clapback. Let me tell you, because you are phenomenal. And the fact that name says Doctora Gonzalez says enough about who you are and what you've done. And you may not believe that you have overcame it. But listen, if you didn't overcome it 100%, you're killing it.
Oh, thank you.
I am super proud of you.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy that I know this about you, because it makes me love you even more, girl.
Thank you. Not easy, but thank you.
I know it. I know it. Chrissy, what about you, boo? Oh,
Sorry. I got married, like doctor over there. She got married. I got married at when it lasted a year. I was with somebody who tried to drill it in my head that without him I couldn't do anything. I couldn't be better. I couldn't achieve anything. I couldn't do anything without his help, or I depended on him. And the abuse happened, and I felt like I was stuck because I was living out of state. I didn't know what to do. And so one day I just decided, I'm going to pack up my car and just get out. I'm going to leave. It was the most scariest thing I ever did, but it was the most rewarding thing for me to do, because I was no longer around that person in harm's way. Did that divorce take a long time to happen? Yes, it took 3 years, but it happened, and I was so relieved. But I got my confidence back to knowing that I don't have to depend on anybody. If I want a partner in my life, I want that partner in my life as a relationship, that we love each other, we care for each other. I'm not dependent on you. I don't have to feel like I'm below you. We're equal, I overcome the hate that I had in my heart. I don't hate nobody. You know me? I'll never wish no bad on you, but that person, for a while, I'd wish them dead. I did. And I would be lying if I didn't say that. But it took me time. It took me time to heal, to pray, to stop being angry. Because I was like, what the hell did I do? Why did I deserve this? And I'm like, no, wait a minute, hold up. I didn't deserve this. I didn't do nothing but love and care and be supportive. So it took me a while to get rid of that hate, that anger. And now I'm at a place where I wish them well in their life. They're there. I'm here. I'm doing me. I'm good. So that was my biggest challenge. That whenever that person's name came up, it was like, oh, like it was just the worst feeling in the world. Now I can just say, oh yeah, whatever. I moved on from that. But no one ever expects to get into a relationship with someone that they claim to love and they say they love, and they think that they know that person. And then it's like all of a sudden, boom, they want that control, and your face is met with the fist, or you don't expect this. So it's like, for a woman, we're like, damn, I didn't think I would ever go through that.
Mm-hmm.
So it took my trust level too for a man to, do I want to go through this again? Should I stay by myself? But at the same time, I'm deserving of love.
Yeah.
You know, we all are. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm still open to all those things,
Mm-hmm.
to trusting and to loving and not holding hate in my heart. That's the biggest thing. So
Absolutely. Good for you, Chrissy. And you are doing it. Glad you left and survived it. Absolutely. I'm so proud of you, ladies. It's just, man, I just want to like grab you and hug you from afar. Daisy, what is something that you have overcome? I unmuted you. You're good. Did you hear the question, Daisy?
You know what? I'm having, for some reason, today's been like an odd day with my connection.
It's
Can you
okay.
repeat that question again?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
that's okay. Same question I gave the ladies. What is something that you went through and overcame?
Gosh, I feel like a lot in life, but I think that if one thing stands out would be, you know, becoming a teen mom at the age of 15. And not knowing what life was going to be like. Also, you know, her dad, who's not my current husband, but her dad was, you know, very much physically and mentally abusive. And I was scared. And I think, well, I know what did it for me. And I talk about it now because, you know, I'm not that I'm not afraid to hurt feelings, right? But you know, I was in a place where, like I said, I was ashamed to talk about it because I didn't want to hurt my mom, you know, because I'm her daughter, right? And so, or like like just people like that, I didn't want to hurt because I was so hurt that I didn't want them to know that I was hurt. So just talking about it now, like, you know, becoming a teen mom and then my mom having to see, like it got to the point that my mom saw the abuse, right? And then seeing my daughter, and I'm like, this is not the life I want to give my daughter. Like, I'm allowing her to see this and be okay with this. Like, that was what did it for me. So overcoming that, you know, stereotype of, yes, I was a teen mom. That alone was like, you know, my pretty much everyone said my life was over, right? So now the fact that I'm in this relationship where I'm being physically and mentally abused as a teen mom, I had like everything against me. And thankfully, I had the support system that allowed me to come out on the other side a different person, you know, a stronger person. And so I always say that things happen to us to teach us a life lesson, right? And to be able to help others whenever that time is.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, overcoming just being a teen mom and just, you know, overcoming the odds too, because, you know, the stereotype of a teen Latina mom is not a good one. Like, you know, and so, and just you know, in the environment that I was in, like there just was no, I want to say there was like no hope, to be honest. Okay. So to overcome that, I have to say I'm very proud of, you know, of myself to have had that experience and come out, you know, stronger on the other side.
And you should be. I give you ladies all kudos and claps
Yes.
for being able to overcome and get past such adversity. You know, people see you doing real estate and killing it. You know, they see Sandra, you know, doctora. You know, they're like, whoa. You know, they see Chrissy and she's happy after all of this and she's living her life and she's doing her. And people are like, oh, you guys are good, but they have no idea that there was a time where none of us were good. There was a time when all of us had super difficult lives that we were dealing with. And we've gotten past it. So, you know, as per always, I give all of you your flowers and all of you your props because it's not easy. You know, people think that it's so, once you get past it, oh, just get past it, move on from it. It's over. Stop living in your past. It's not a part of living in your past. You know, I did a show last week, a separate show with a few individuals. And something that we spoke about is the fact that trauma cannot take over your life but it will always be a part of your life. Something that you've dealt with is not something that you're just going to leave in the past and never, it's never going to come out again. There's triggers that happen, that remind you of those things. But I hope to God that when those triggers hit you from all of the negative, that you realize where you're at right now to where you were back then, and realize I have these triggers, but damn, look at me now. Look at who I am now. Look at how much of an amazing person I am now as opposed to then. Everyone probably thinks that what I'm going to say as my thing of overcoming is domestic violence, right? We all know that. I'm not going to say that because we all know that. That's why I'm here. I lived through it. I dealt with it. I got past it. My biggest thing of overcoming is kind of like yours, Daisy, not being a teen mom, but being a single mom. Because when I became a single mom, when I started to tell folks that I was pregnant, I got so much backlash. And I was pregnant at 26. I already had my undergrad degree. I already had my own apartment, my own car, my own job. I was a grown woman. And I was told so many times, you're an idiot. Why are you going to do this on your own? You know that it's hard. You're never going to be able to do it on your own. You're not going to be able to get through it. What kind of real example are you going to be for her? She should, because my sisters are married. They've been married, in their 20s, 21, and they still, thank God, have those relationships. 25 years. One is celebrating 27 years just this month. They've had these long, and I was the baby, who was having a baby, and I didn't have a husband. So in everybody else's mind was, are you sure you really want to take this on? Like, there's other options. And I'm like, no, it's scary, but I'm going to do it. And we are almost 15 years in. And let me tell you, I say it every day. I'm a freaking damn good mother. Like, I surprise myself. And yes, I am boasting because I was terrified the day that I had her. I say this all the time. I called my sister 2 hours after I had her, and I was sobbing on the phone. And I said, Linda, how can I be a mother to this child and be a positive mother and role model towards her if I don't love me? Like, what am I going to do? What kind of examples am I going to set for her? Like, I said it over and over again. And I've even said it to her as a baby. I would hold her and I would look at her and I would say, you deserve so much better than me. My girl's going to be 15 and she is a freaking rock star. And every time I look at her, I'm like, how the hell did I do that? Everybody thought that the adversity was going to be against me and I would not be a great mom. And if you know my kid, she is a straight A student. She is respectable. She is funny. She is beautiful. She does not get smart with me. She does not talk back to me. All the headaches people tell me about their kids at her age, I'm like, I don't understand, because she's such a good kid. So that is my adversity. That is what I faced. And I feel like I did a damn good job and I overcame it. So that's not what people thought that I was going to say. They thought I was going to say domestic violence. But being a single mom has been probably the toughest job of my life, but the most rewarding. I love that kid. I get emotional because I love her. So I'm going to do what I always do. We are past an hour, but who cares because it's my show. I'm going to do what I do. And one by one, we're each going to have our final thoughts. You can talk about anything you want to talk about. When we come back and everybody's done their final thoughts, I'm going to give us some reminders and some promos for some good things that are coming on. So I'm leaving the screen, and so are the other ladies. Let's leave Daisy by herself. She's probably like, oh, God.
So, oh my gosh, am I sharing something?
This is your final thought. I think the last time we were here, we went over, so we couldn't. So your final thought is what you feel about today's show, or anything you want to talk about.
Okay. I mean, my final thought is the first thing that comes to my mind is being vulnerable. Being vulnerable in anything that you want to share allows you to start the healing process. So whatever it is, what I share today, it still allows me to be able to continue to heal, being vulnerable and just speaking my story. So if I can share one thing, it's just, having someone that you can trust, or having, like Christine had shared, people that are going to lift you up and be uplifting. Like, surround yourself with people like that, whether it's coming to this show or just, surrounding yourself with positive friends. That is one thing that if I had to share, it's vulnerability, and surround yourself with uplifting people that are going to just love on you. So, yeah.
Thank you, my love. See, you did great. Now, for the next time you're on here, you'll know she does a final thought.
Yes, I'm
Don't
like,
leave me
wait,
by
what? What's
myself.
happening?
I love when I leave. I love it. It's funny. I know it's not funny for you, but I'll be cracking up in the background when you're like, I'm by myself. What do I do? The next time you know, and I won't scare
Yes, I'll be prepared.
you. All right, we're going to go to the back and we're going to let Chrissy give her final thought.
Final thought. If you're someone who is struggling in a situation, trying to get away, trying to figure out what to do, who to reach out to, this is the place for it. Don't ever think that you're alone. And don't ever think that, you caused it, that you're the problem. You're entitled and you're supposed to be loved and cared for. And when you get to that place to be able to come forward and say, I need help because this is what I'm dealing with, start surrounding yourself with a positive group of friends. I have 5 that are like my sisters. They're there for me night and day. We can find the group, whether it's 2 people, 1 person, 3 people, get you a group of people that are going to be there for you no matter what. And if your faith isn't where it should be strong, start building, start looking for time, making time, to work on yourself, to be a stronger person, a woman, a man. Work on you, bettering you, because you're supposed to be loved. You're supposed to be cared for. And just know that there's more out there. There's more out there. There's more life to live. And just take it day by day. You're not alone. There are plenty of people out there that are going through the same thing. And you know what? Share your story. You never know who you're impacting, who you're helping. And come here. I'm here. I'm sure the ladies are here. We're always here to listen, to help in any kind of way. No one is ever being blamed for anything. You didn't cause this. This is not your doing. So I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but it's a personal thing for me because I didn't have that when I was going through that. And now we have something here that's amazing. So use the tools, use the resources that you can, reach out to anybody. But just know you're loved, you're special, and you're entitled to have that life. God bless you.
Gracias. I'm such a dork.
Girl.
Christina and Christine are on the screen. Oh, they rhyme. I'm going to send you to the back. I'm going to go to the back too, and we're going to let Doctora Gonzalez say her final part.
Someone's negative comments and their opinions that were shared with Christina, they had harassed or threatened her due to her, due to her message that she shares with others. My message is, if this show is not for you, go find something else, do something else, unblock, or block and move away and do something else productive with your life. For everyone else, please use your voice to inspire others. Please, listen, provide a listening ear and a listening heart. Also, there might be someone out there, just like Christina through this platform, they might just need a listening ear and a listening heart. Thank you, Christina, for offering this platform, for educating others, for inspiring others, and empowering women from all over, young and old, to really find a way out of their unfortunate situation, especially if it doesn't bring them happiness and they're not safe. Christina, keep your head up. Keep doing what you're doing. I am truly proud of you. I am excited about the things that you have been doing and the things that you're offering our community. We need to continue talking about these things. And if you are not okay with this topic, that's okay. Go find another topic that you're passionate about. Thank you, Christina.
You don't like it, pa fuera.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to send you to the back, and I'm going to give my announcements, my final thought, and everybody will come back to say goodbye. So, as per always, gracias for everyone who is watching, who is being a part of our every week. Let me tell you, when I'm not here, believe me, I miss it. If I'm not here, there is always a good reason or purpose behind it, or my cup is just not full that week and I need to get my energy back up. But we love doing what we're doing. Believe me, nothing will stop me. You only fuel me when you give me negativity. Know that, because I am a fighter. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our show. Express yourself. We do this once a month so people can just talk about anything that they want. They can express their feelings. They can tell us how they feel. Listen, they can say they like their coffee this morning. Whatever it is, Express Yourself becomes the show where the audience gets to say what it is that they want and they feel. No set topic. Next week, we're going to talk about holistic healing, something that not many people speak about. We're going to have a beautiful young lady come on and talk to us about holistic healing. So it should be a good show. Join us next week. I appreciate all of you. If there's anything that you get out of any of the conversations that we have, it's to always find positivity in all your negative situations, because guess what? It's not always going to be negative, but there always has to be a dark ass storm before you see those big behind rainbows. Remember that. A few reminders, folks. The number's crawling across the screen, 1-800-799-7233. Pass it on to a friend, a foe, anyone who needs it if they're dealing with domestic violence. May 14th, people. My numbers continue to go up, but please, 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 you, your friends, your family, take the flyer, post it on your page. We are having our second annual Love Run, our 5K here in Philadelphia at Edison High School track. We are so excited to bring this to you again, and we will continue to do this annually. It is only $25 to join us. We take Cash App, we take Venmo. Please contact me if you would like to join. Get a team together, come down. We are doing this to commemorate the memory and honor all those who have left us and are no longer here. Throughout the track, you will see photos and pictures of loved ones that we have lost to remind us of why we do what we do. So if you are an individual who has lost a loved one to any form of domestic violence, please send me their photos. My email we put up all the time, but it is Christina, my name, at loveshouldnothurt.com. Send me those photos. Send me that loved one's name. We're going to put those pictures all around that track so that people know that we are remembering them, and we will never forget them, because always we remember that the forefront of this organization is dedicated to the memory of Linda Rios, who is an amazing woman. Ooh, he puts the picture up and makes me cry every time, who lost her life at the hands of domestic violence. So we will be remembering Linda. We will be honoring her as we always do. Send me your photos so that we can remember your loved one as well. And we can remind ourselves while we are there. We're going to have food vendors. We're going to have other types of vendors. We're going to have things for the kids, face painting, balloons, jumping beams, everything come out. It's a great event. We have fun. May 14th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. 2 ways to pay, Cash App and Venmo. Listen, if you are on here, you may have seen Esther Alvarez. She is one of the founders of La Liga del Barrio. So this Friday, if you don't know about it, we have a gala, people. Y Límite 21 is going to be there performing. Come out and support La Liga. They support all of the kids in our community. They are teaching them basketball, but honestly, at the end of the day, they are teaching them self-esteem. They are teaching them to do good, and they are keeping our kids off the streets. So go buy your tickets at Eventbrite for La Liga del Barrio's 20th anniversary gala. It's going to be amazing. I'll be there in a pretty dress, looking pretty, because that's what I do. You can be there too, looking pretty too. Thank you for being here, guys. I love you all so much. We're going to show one last video, and then all the ladies will come back, and we're going to say good night.
If you come across this video, I believe you are meant to see it, so this message is for you. You are not damaged goods, and you are not broken. You are not a failure or worthless or a burden. You are not weak. You are not a waste of space, and you are not alone. You are important. You are loved. You are needed. You are smart and beautiful and strong. I'm sorry that you're going through a hard time right now, and I know that it feels like it will never end. But I promise you there are better days just around the corner.
Me and Ray are TikTok freaks. We love TikTok. We hope the video touched your soul. Folks, again, mujeres, thank you for coming. Thank you for being with us tonight. All of you people who are here and you are watching, please, please, please join us next week. And thank you so much, because I see you still in the comment box, and we are over our hour. So I love you guys for always being so supportive of us. Mujeres bellas en front of mi fierras. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation of being here tonight. Have a good night, everyone. We will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night.